Welcome to Impact Farming, where we introduce you to the people and ideas that will have a massive impact on your farming operation. Brought to you by Farm Marketer. Sit down, start the engine, and let's roll with today's show.
Proven Seed, leading-edge technology and performance you can count on in canola, cereals, corn, soybeans, and forages. Available only at Nutrien Ag Solutions. Learn more at provenseed.ca.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Impact Farming Show. Today we have an amazing guest with us. We have Adelle Stewart, Executive Director for Do More Ag. How are you, Adelle?
I am so good. Thank you for having me.
Good. I am so happy to have you on the show to talk about mental health. And we're going to be sharing some of the new and exciting things that you guys are doing at Do More Ag. So super excited. Before we dive in, can you share a little bit more about yourself and what you do with Do More Ag?
Absolutely. So yes, Adelle Stewart, I am the Executive Director with the Do More Ag Foundation. So have been here just over 2 years and helping, lead and grow and expand the reach and the impact that we are making in changing the culture of mental health in agriculture. For me personally, I live on a small ranch in central Saskatchewan. I also run a boarding and equine facility, equine education, and things like that. So have a little bit of that horse life. I also did grow up a little bit in the both in the livestock and the grain farming sector, grandparents and aunts and uncles doing all of those things. So really familiar with, the weekends at the farm and things like that. And really happy to be able to bring business and the love of agriculture together with Do More.
Love it. And you are leading the charge at Do More Ag, and you guys are doing some exciting stuff, which is amazing. Because I know when Do More Ag launched, it just really opened that conversation for mental health and agriculture. I farm, our audience are farmers, and we all know there's a lot of stuff, probably just about everything that's out of our control in farming, right? And as we're recording this and launching, it'll be September when this airs. Well, farmers have been facing drought, massive grasshopper issues. There's been some flooding on top of all the uncertainty that farm families are facing with the ongoing pandemic. It's absolutely crazy. So I think now more than ever, it is so important for us to have this conversation. And I'm really excited about the stuff that you guys have on the go to help support farmers. So why don't we dive in, start from the top? Can you tell us about an announcement? You guys announced AgCulture just a few days ago. So why don't we start with that one? And can you share a little bit more with our audience?
Absolutely. We are so proud of this program, and it's been in the works for quite a while, honestly, probably about a year, truthfully, like putting a program together like this is no short order. So we're very proud, and it's almost timely that it is being, launched and offered right now in a, who could have predicted this year? We never can. I mean, we know that, but so AgCulture is a mental health literacy course. It all started probably about 2 years ago, actually, when we began to tailor in resources. We were looking for mental health professionals with lived ag experience to put on our website to connect producers to. We had a bunch of acute care and acute crisis lines and things like that on our website. But, we wanted to say what about the people who are just stressed or maybe would like some counseling? So I kind of went on a mission in the summer of 2019 to find those professionals. And while we do have a great and growing list, of over, I think 12 or 15, and there's representation from each province, what we found is that there was still a gap in, 12 or 15 counselors don't fill the need of 180 farm families, 180,000 farm families across Canada. So we wanted to understand how we could reach more farmers by putting more mental health professionals on the ground with agriculture experience. So we have heard from multiple reports, whether it's the standing committee of the AAFC report, the FMC report, the UOG reports, that farmers are more likely to access mental health services from someone who understands the unique stressors of ag. So they don't have to spend their first hour in counseling explaining why agriculture is so unique. So we wanted to bridge that gap and be able to build a therapeutic relationship between a mental health professional who maybe hasn't stepped foot on a farm before, but help them begin their mental health or their agriculture literacy journey. So that was where AgCulture came from. So that program then teaches mental health professionals, the difference between a ewe and a heifer and a hectare and, all of those things, but also brings them up to speed with the statistics of mental health and agriculture, how to build a therapeutic relationship with such a unique and diverse population of people. And so then we can then list those counselors who completed that 8-hour course on our website and begin to expand the help that is there for producers to access.
Okay, fantastic. And at the end of the episode here, I will get you to do a call out and let the audience know where they can find all the information for everything we talked about. So that's really exciting. And you know what? I get it. And people that are farmers, it's not that we don't want to talk to people that don't understand, but it's hard. And agriculture is unique. So you're right. You feel a little bit more comfortable talking to somebody that actually understands it. Because I know at different times I've gone to open up to people, and it's like, well, they don't even get it. Or you try and share a little bit, and then they're like, well, this is this. And it's like, okay, no, this conversation isn't working, right? So that's awesome that you guys are doing that. Okay, so that is AgCulture. That was the first one I want to ask you about. And number 2, I think it was a few weeks back, you guys announced AgTalk. Do you want to share more about that one?
Yeah, that is also another long-standing initiative that has been in the works for almost 2 years now. It will be a national 24/7 fully bilingual and agriculture specific crisis and support line for producers to access all across Canada. So that again answers several of the recommendations of those national reports and research studies that we have at our availability. So really bridges the gap between provinces that don't have agriculture specific crisis or support lines, and then augments with the provinces that do have those agriculture specific lines. So our end goal is for the producers, we're not seeing statistics drop in terms of the prevalence of mental illness or stress that our farmers are facing. So we know there's more to do. There are some amazing resources out there. We just want to help amplify them, as well as reduce any barrier to entry, any hesitance to pick that up that phone, whether it's just for stress or whether it's a financial stress or whether it is acute or anything like that. So this line steps the person through all of those and gives them more options and things like that. If they maybe know the person who is answering the phone on another line, like this brings another level of anonymity to accessing help, and is all answered by counselors who again will have gone through the AgCulture program. So again, they're going to understand life on the farm. So this reduces any confusion on phone numbers or searching for any specific province. And then we're able to also augment into those local resources. So whether the person will never be left not understanding what the next step is for them. So whether it is a crisis call and then they are triaged through locally to the next necessary step, or whether it is, say, financial stress, and then we, stay on the line with that person until they understand that like they have an appointment that is, in 5 days from now at XYZ center. So that is like the biggest piece, because we don't want people to call and then just be like, well, do this tomorrow. Then we have the heifers starting to calve or something like that. And that goes out the window. But when they know what their very next step is, there is a sense of relief that can be brought forward from that. So that is another one of the key differentiating factors. And that's where we can augment into those local resources that do exist, and work through that. So very proud to hopefully one day soon be able to offer that. We're currently again in that fundraising phase for that project.
Perfect. So 24/7 right across Canada, one phone number.
You bet.
Action item at the end. That is great. And I know so many times I've chatted with different individuals that do more ag, And they often say, and I get it too, sometimes when you have stuff that you want to talk about, you don't necessarily want to talk to somebody you know or in your community, right? So that's fantastic. You pick up the phone, you don't know the person, but yet they can connect you locally for next steps if needed, right?
You bet.
Fantastic. Okay, so I wanted to ask you timelines for getting this up and running. Do you guys have any kind of benchmarks, timelines for that?
Yeah, we are ready to go in like with a 6-week lead time. We have been working with the federal government, with the agriculture minister, looking for funding there. Things of this magnitude and at that level take time. So although we needed it last harvest and we needed it this plant and we needed this harvest, they take time. So what we've done in the meantime is start to fundraise for the program ourselves until we can get that bulk of capital funding, hopefully from that government level.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured. I know you guys were doing a big fundraising push, so I didn't know if that was cart before the horse question. But that leads me honestly to the next question. I know us here, myself personally, and us here at Farm Marketer, we're excited to be part of it and donate, and we will be. And there's no pressure for anybody else. But you know what? Farmers in this industry, we know we need support, and especially years like this. I don't think there's a better reminder of how important this is. I've just heard of different people in communities and some mental health concerns. So if there's somebody that are in the audience, pardon me, that wants to be part of it and donate, how can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're running an official campaign in partnership with the Maple Relief Project, but above all else, going to our website, domore.ag/donate, will bring people to the page that gives them all of the options to donate. There's some donation options where they can get a really cool metal sculpture from a Canadian artist, Charles Pachter, or they can just donate directly to the organization itself. But that page is going to give them those opportunities and options to choose the donation that is best for them.
Okay, fantastic. Do you guys have a target that you want to share, or just fundraising and trying to raise as much as you can?
Yeah, the number that we need is large, in the millions of dollars. So, but we're trying to, it's bite-sized pieces that we're after. So every single donation helps, and every donation that from the Maple Relief campaign and for the rest of 2021 are all going towards AgTalk. So every little bit helps.
Fantastic. Can you share a little bit more about the Maple Relief campaign that I read through a little bit on your website, and that sounds really neat. Can you share a little bit more about the connection and how that ties together with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really great opportunity for us. We've been very blessed with a lot of organizations coming to us, to be funding partners or for donations. Like, really, the industry has been so supportive of it that we haven't had to do a lot of outward, campaigning and fundraising and things like that. So this was our first big kick at the can to do a national fundraiser, and just so happened that we were accepted into the Maple Relief Project. So it's led by a group of individuals who are experts in fundraising. Obviously, they used to do event-based fundraising and have shifted their focus to do some online things. So they have come up with the Maple Relief Project, and we were one of the, I believe there's about 15 charities across Canada that were chosen. We are the only one, obviously, that is representative of the agriculture community with that mental health tie as well. So it's really great for us to be able to partner with them, because a lot of the administration is handled by them. So the volume that we're seeing come in as we're a small but mighty organization, wasn't something that we had to learn how to do right away, because they're assisting us with that, and the media reach outs, and doing the videos and reaching out to, there's a lot of celebrities that are part of it. So we have our own, local celebrity and co-founder Kirk Myers, but There's like Jason Priestley is in on this, and many Canadian artists, and Charles Pachter developed the sculpture that you can receive with your donation. So there's a lot of big names that just like increase our exposure as well as a foundation. So the opportunity just was really a blessed and no-brainer that we kind of were able to ride on with that and do that partnership. So very, very excited to see where it goes. It runs till the middle of October.
Okay, wow. So we better get moving. That's just around the corner. So you mentioned the sculpture. I thought that part was really cool too. And I looked on your website and there's different donation levels, and as part of one of the donation levels, you get a sculpture. And did they say something about you get one and then they plant one,
Yes.
put it in a different location?
Yeah. Yes, that's it's another reason why it's so, to plant the sculpture and farming. I mean, I'm sure everybody can appreciate the resonance there. But yes, so for a $30 donation, the person will get their donation receipt and a virtual copy of the sculpture, but the physical sculpture will be planted at an implant site, and that's the locations to be determined. If we have enough donations, we will be able to actually choose where we get our own. But there is a mass one out in Ontario that they will be planted. For a $100 donation, the donor gets their own sculpture that they can plant in their garden and show their support for the fundraiser. And then again, another one gets planted. And then there are also corporate opportunities and matching and sponsorship and all of those types of things for that agribusiness level as well. So kind of a little something for everybody from individual to corporate to donate.
Okay, perfect. I thought that was really neat. I like the sculpture idea, and I've seen a few of them pop up on social media too. I'm like, hey, what's that about? So I went to the website, had a look, and I thought that was really, really cool, and a lot of symbolism in there, right? So
Yes.
That's extra fun. Well, thank you for sharing that. Again, why don't you do a call out now? We'll do a call out at the end. If people are interested in donating, they go to the Do More Ag website.
Yes, and I will link them through to that. So domore.ag /donate will get them right to the page. But yeah, domore.ag, it's pretty easy to navigate from there as well.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for sharing. That's exciting. And good luck. Good luck.
You.
Okay, so we're going to work to wrap the interview up. And I know different organizations are often calling on you to share some mental health tips. And I think it's super important. And that's why I'm actually taking September, October to focus on some mental health tips and episodes for our audience. Do you want to share a few mental health tips for the individuals in our audience? Because I think we could all use it. I'll speak for myself, but I know many of us could.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple with the foundation. We always have this saying of asking people, to talk more, ask more, listen more, kind of our slogan. So it's that's the preventative phase of it. So, to talk more, to use and make the words mental health normal in a conversation, are really going to go towards, and I always say, people need a cheat to use those words mental health. If someone says, oh, what did you get up to today? You can say, oh, I watched an interview with Do More Ag about mental health, but and to ask more. So to ask people, and instead of saying like, how are you, to kind of be more objective with the question, with fact-based conversations, so how are you finding stress with the level of drought that you're experiencing? Like, so to actually say those words, because we know we're all stressed right now. So it's really easy to say like, well, I'm good, or I'm okay, when we're really not. So, and then when we start to open those conversations and change the way we ask questions, and people actually do open up to us, is to listen. And that's the biggest thing. So we often, especially in agriculture, we have to be kind of, self-starters and fixers and things like that. But when, sometimes when we share something that's stressing us out, listening simply with the intent to share versus fix for somebody else goes a long way in that feeling of community, and actually can help with some stress reduction when we feel truly heard instead of, being picked to fix. So, those from a preventative standpoint, and then taking that self-care and understanding that exploring what self-care means to somebody is very, very different. So giving a person the permission to, see what works for them. It's not as easy as Googling, like, what is self-care? How can I reduce stress? Because, lighting a candle and having a bath, it often isn't going to be very relaxing for a farmer because they just have blank time to think about all the other things. So maybe it's a physical activity, maybe it is getting off the farm for an hour, as simple as going for a drive, to chopping wood for the stove for the winter. It's so individualized, and so we need to really shut out the outside world when it comes to our self-care and prioritizing our self-care, and understanding what gives us a bit of reprieve. So living from in stress day to day, it's just we need to return to that level of calmness or reprieve, I call it, and things like that. So, a tip would be to try to get that every day. So whether that's 5 minutes or 30 seconds or a deep breath before you walk in the room or have a hard conversation with somebody, just to give yourself that pause and a little bit of space between, your stimulus and response and things like that, are really great, like baby tools that we can start to really influence the culture of how we deal with stress from that preventative standpoint.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I did read somewhere, and this is a little bit of a left curve here. I read somewhere that women and men were obviously very different and stereotypical, but not. They often say that women, we are very good at seeking connection and community. And that's how we often relate and we feel good in talking, where men sometimes want to just come in and then just veg out and do their TV time. So that's also something interesting that I've been learning a little bit about too. Women naturally reach out. So to be aware of that it's not necessarily something that men do naturally either, nor do all women, but very stereotypical. But I think that's so important, right? And I know with Do More Ag and mental health, that's been something that's been said over and over. Women can and do reach out much more often. Men sometimes put that guard up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, no, absolutely. And sometimes it may be a guard, but that may be, their unwind time, and that may be their piece of self-care. So like having those conversations of understanding instead of like a feeling of desperation that, well, we have to talk about this because it's so stressful right now. And we got like a third of a bale an acre or something like that. We should really talk this out, is to understand there's so many different personalities and genders and age groups and all of those things. It's so to change that perspective of understanding what the other person finds as a stress reliever. And, definitely there needs to be healthy conversation, but understanding what that is. And maybe that, the husband or the man or whatever it is needs to come in and just put their feet up and for 20 minutes and not do anything. And maybe that's, a piece of self-care for them. So having those types of conversations about, that is self-care for you. And then we move on and build tools together through understanding.
Love it. Sorry, I had to bring that up because I've been learning more and more. Obviously, different personalities, female, men are a little bit different. So that self-care, and that's exactly what you said, that self-care piece is different to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Adelle, for sharing. I think I asked you everything that I wanted to cover today. Do you have anything else that you want to add, or do you want to just share some resources? Actually, step back, where farmers can go if they need resources.
Yes, absolutely. So for now, and until we get AgTalk off the ground, going to the domore.ag, the domore.ag website, we have a specific resources page. So that has the crisis numbers that are available, as well as those agriculture experienced counselors. And then once we launch our first session of AgCulture, that list is going to continue to grow from here on out. So they can find most of everything what they need from that one central hub all across Canada.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing your time, Adelle, and most importantly, for the work you do and Do More Ag does, because you guys have really changed the industry. And I know that you are making people much healthier mentally, physically, and saving lives. We know that. So your work is so important. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Thanks for having us.
Excellent. And you in the audience, thank you for sharing and joining us once again. And what I was going to say is, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it out, especially the part about the fundraiser. I know Do More Ag needs as much as they can to get this up and running for our community. So if you liked it, you like the idea, like it, share it, get it out there so other farmers can learn about what Do More Ag is doing. Thanks, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Impact Farming. For more great episodes and articles designed to help you manage and grow your farming operation, head on over to farmmarketer.com. Don't forget to sign up while you're there. We will see you on the next episode.